This video is sponsored by DecalWorks, offering 10% off all graphics to retail customers. Use the promo code RX10 at decalmx.com to receive 10% off your graphics.
Hey everybody, I'm Kris Keefer. Welcome to another Racer X garage build. Guess who I have here? Over 37 years of experience. Race Tech owner Paul Thede. This is his and Brandon, his son's ride. 2019 KTM 350 EXC. We're gonna hand it over to Paul because you guys know in these garage builds, I like a backstory. Every garage build starts from somewhere, and it started in this beautiful mind right here that is Paul. So Paul, take it over. So tell us why you built this and what's Brandon gonna use it for?
Well, Brandon is a mountain bike racer. And so, but we wanted to get a motorcycle that he could ride, and especially ride someplace close. Where we live, it takes a couple hours to get to any place where we can ride. And one of the things that I really enjoy about mountain biking is we can just go right from the garage and start riding. And we really were looking for a motorcycle that had really good power band, really a bike that would be fun. And something that was street legal, so we could just take it to the local mountains and just go riding on all the forestry land. And so this bike really fit the bill well. And Brandon is not real tall, and I'm not either. And one of the things about trail riding, a lot of these bikes are really way too tall for us. And so you kind of get on the side of a mountain or something. And so one of the things we did was we lowered this thing 1.5 inches. And so it gives it a really good, kind of posture and able to touch the ground and that kind of thing. And as far as doing the suspension, obviously we've been doing suspension for a long time.
You guys know a little bit about suspension.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
But the thing that we've just added in the last 4 or 5 years is we started to do engines again, and we really do the machining behind the engine. We don't really build engines per se, meaning we don't assemble them.
Right.
Obviously we did this one, but we do the headwork and the cams and valves, and so we actually have a whole line of products at this point in time. We actually have valves and pistons and that kind of thing. But one of the things that we just bought was CNC Rottler CNC porting machine, which you got to come look at that thing. It's fun to watch it in action. But the amount of power that we were able to get, the kind of the power band, and you could speak on it more than I could, but really we were focused on getting a really great, easy to ride, fun power band. And so that was really a focus of the engine, and we're able to do it really well with the CNC porting. And the CNC porting, really one of the neat things about it is it makes it really consistent too. Right. Once you kind of do the homework. But as far as the rest of the bike is concerned, it really was getting the turn signals off on the rear. It's still got turn signals, but they're really tight.
Yeah, it's super clean look, doesn't stick out. So if you guys do some trail riding with some tight trails, they're tucked in nicely.
Yeah, we rode it actually with the stock stuff, and it was just kind of out there. And sometimes the tire actually, we'd hit stuff, and the tire would kind of catch the, But anyway, that kind of thing, and foot pegs, and there were a couple other things that we were looking to put on here, some triple clamps to get a little more trail and that kind of thing too. But got some really good Dunlops on here, and get some really good grip. Geared it a bit lower for the kind of riding that we're looking to do, and really a lot of it, we got some Works Connection stuff on here that, just is kind of bulletproof and also add some bling to it. And of course FMF exhaust, which does two things. One, it looks good, and the other one, it makes good horsepower too. So
lightens it up a little bit and opens it up. These things are choked up, obviously, from the get-go. But for me, what I like, and I guess I'm getting to that age in the 40s now, where it's nice to be able to ride from my house and get that two-wheel feel, that we all are addicted to, like that adrenaline. So for me, like being able to ride to from my house to the track, just like today, and ride the vet track, have some fun. Obviously, it's a little soft for me, but man, it opens up so much for me. Like, I never thought I would hit that age where I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna just ride from my house and go motocross riding or go trail riding. So, but today, man, I could see how other guys do the same thing. And in the video, you guys will see there's other dual sports out there, same thing that I was doing. I was honking the horn, having a good time. There's 2 other dual sports out there, so very fun engine for me. Like, so if I can describe to you guys out there what this engine feels like, coming from a stock one, which I just rode about a couple weeks ago, this engine has more RPM response, still very connected to the rear wheel, but man, now it pulls very far from the mid to top end range, so I can get aggressive with it, where the other stock one feels really lethargic and not fun. This actually brings excitement to me, but yet it's not going to get me in trouble. It's not so much where I'm like out of control. So I guess that's what you guys are kind of looking to do here.
Well, yeah, and not just with the modifications that we've done, but even just picking the 350 over a 250 or a 450. 450 is a handful. Yeah. And Brandon's quite a accomplished mountain bike rider, but not so much on motorcycles. And the 250, great bike, but the 350 being able to be street legal, and then just it has that torque, makes it easier to ride, and then it's not nearly as much of a handful as the 450, and it's a little bit lighter weight than the 450, so it doesn't feel like you gotta kind of you can control it more than it controls you. But yeah, that exactly, both the choice of the bike as well as the way that we tuned it, the mods that we did to make the power band. The power band is just really, really broad and
yeah, super easy for me to ride today. I rode in third gear a lot in the video you guys see. I can lug it. It has luggability. I didn't ride any trails, so to speak. I went to Glen Helen, from the house here to Glen Helen, rode some vet track, and then rode around the park. But I live in Hesperia. We'd ride up in Arrowhead. We talk about this from the Pinnacles. It's 30 minutes from the house, and this bike would be perfect. Another thing that I really want to note is the gut seat. I'm a big fan of the wing seat. You guys seen some of these things on my Yamaha and my motocross bike. It helps you grip, especially if you guys are traveling distances and you're going from point A to point B and it's pretty far. You guys can grip with your knees. It kind of helps you relax a little bit, and just overall good comfort on the foam. It doesn't hurt your butt. And for me, I'm a motocross, so I don't have much of a rear end there, Paul. So I need most cushion I can get. So what Race Tech now has a CNC machine. You're doing suspension. I even know that you guys do vintage bikes now too as well.
Well, yeah, it's not that we do them now. We
always have been.
I've been around for a while, and yeah, so we've been doing it. It's funny, people bring vintage stuff to me, and I go, this isn't vintage. This is just stuff that we've been working on for 30 years. Yeah. So, but what's neat about vintage, we do a ton of vintage. But what's neat about vintage is that we can take kind of what we've learned over a lifetime and put gold valves in and that kind of thing, and people are really surprised as to how well they can make a vintage bike and really how fun they can make that bike.
One of the first things that held me accountable as a kid, I think I mentioned this before, it was you had a book back in the day, little handbook that held yourself accountable when you went racing to make yourself better. Tell us a little bit about that. That is still available as well, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's Mental Edge. Yeah. So
Mental Edge. I remember riding these 4-stroke nationals, and someone gave me this book, and I've always had problems racing and then having a problem when I get there of holding myself accountable. You would write these things down, and it really set the tone for my lifestyle. So I just want to say thank you. That was really cool. So.
Yeah, no, I actually didn't know about that. We actually did a video back in '92. Yeah. and it was the mental aspect of the sport of motocross. I actually put it on YouTube, so it's free to view now. But the little 23-minute video, but it's the same principles apply today as they did back then, and I mean they have been timeless. And you get to laugh at me because I don't really have a mullet, but it's kind of sorta.
It fit the times though.
Yeah, I have my white Reebok high tops and my tight jeans, so it'll all come back in style here.
I think it already is. You kind of said what my son wears. He's 14, so.
But yeah, we did a logbook with it, and the logbook really is, it's like, how do you improve consistently? Most people just go out and they ride, as opposed to really having anything that they focus on to really try to get better in that particular area. So yeah, it was neat to be able to make that. Actually made that with Don Lieb back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
well, it made an impression on me. So if you guys want to go check it out, it's up on YouTube. And 2019 KTM 350 EXC, what a build. I like these backstories. Paul's been around for a while. I figured you like some of these stories that Paul has. So we appreciate you bringing this to us. And for you and your son to go have a good time, I love spending time with my kid, at the motocross track, so that's what it's all about.
That's the bottom line. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
So that about wraps it up for the 2019 KTM 350 EXC build. Paul Thede and Brandon are going to have a good time on this thing. If you guys want to subscribe to Racer X magazine, it's $30, 12 issues, and you get the digital issues, which is very cool. There's a lot of stuff you guys can't see in the publication that you guys don't get on racerxonline.com, so check that out. And of course, we'll be back with more garage builds in the future, so stay with us at racerxonline.com.